My mom apologized for choosing the wrong kid. I haven't stopped crying since. I'm 27 now. My younger brother was always the golden child. I don't mean that lightly. My mom treated him like he could do no wrong. She paid his rent when he didn't have a job, helped him out of trouble when he got DUIs, and even once lied to the police to protect him. No matter what he did, she stood by him. Meanwhile, I was the good kid. I got straight A's, worked 2 jobs through school, stayed out of trouble, but it never seemed to matter. She still asked me, over and over, why can't you be more like him? We haven't spoken in almost 3 years. The last time we did, it ended in a fight. She said I was tearing the family apart. Why? Because I wouldn't co-sign a loan for my brother. I had already made that mistake once. He destroyed my credit when I was younger, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get it back. I told her I was done, and I meant it. Then, last week, out of nowhere, I got a voicemail from her. The second I heard her voice say my name, I knew something was different. Her voice cracked. She sounded tired, broken. She said, "I think I picked the wrong kid to believe in. I'm so sorry." Turns out my brother scammed her. He took everything, wiped out the rest of her retirement, drained all her savings. Her house is now in foreclosure, and he vanished. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. And now she's left with nothing. I thought maybe I'd feel better hearing that, like it would prove I was right all along. But I don't feel better. I feel hollow. I feel like the same little kid I used to be, the one who only ever wanted his mom to see him, to really see him, to say, "You did good, you matter." And now, after everything has fallen apart, she finally said it, but only because there's no one else left. I don't know if I'll call her back. I don't know if I can. Too many years of being second, of being invisible. I keep thinking maybe I should, that maybe it's the right thing. But every time I try to pick up the phone, I freeze. I haven't stopped crying since I heard that voicemail. Now for the top advice. First of all, your mom's actions are a reflection of her, not you. Secondly, your mom shouldn't have picked a kid in the first place. You believe in and love and support all your kids, period. Finally, please see a therapist and get some help processing your trauma, and this is very traumatic. Yeah, WTF. A parent that choose a kid over another deserve nothing more than to die alone. I have no idea why parents would not treat all their kids equally. Like, where is the empathy and compassion? The mom definitely is the a-hole, and I would not be the one bailing her out. Once the other kid comes back again, it'll all just be for nothing. Why was believing in both her children not a choice? I feel like she doesn't understand how being a mom works. I have an aunt who is like this. She barely talks to the son who has held a job for 20 years, has a wife and 2 teenage kids with her. But she always goes on and on about the son who has messed up anyone's life he has even been involved in. At some point, she had to sell her apartment and start renting because of him, and it was the good son who helped her move. The 2 sons do not talk to each other. I kind of think the ignored son got the better end of the deal, ironically. Maybe being given every chance and not disciplined or held accountable for anything ruined the golden child. The black sheep almost always ends up better off. Literal black sheep adopted by a white family. I'm objectively better off than all the cousins, yet I'm the one that still gets criticized for happily existing. Meanwhile, my cousins can't keep a job and are on their 4th or 5th marriages. But they go to church, so it's fine. Next story. My aunt is pretending my trip was hers, and it's honestly heartbreaking. A little while ago, I went on a trip to England, where I spent a week in London and the rest of the days in different small towns. It was my first international trip, something that moved me deeply, something I had saved up for, worked hard and planned over months with so much excitement. For me, it was a truly special, very emotional trip, because I visited places I had always dreamed of, and lived very intimate moments that I now hold close to my heart. Since I'm close to my family, and pretty much everyone shares stuff when they travel, I was sending photos and videos to our family chat group throughout the trip. Everything was fine, until I started noticing something weird after I got back. One of my aunts, the typical one who's basically the Karen of the family, started uploading several of my videos and pictures to her social media. But not like, look at this lovely trip my niece had. No, she literally posts them as if she went. She adds captions to her reels and TikToks like, "This is what I work for, me after blowing $6,000 on a trip," with background music like trap, or those flashy songs that scream, "Look how rich I am." And the worst part? She puts those titles on videos like one of me walking up the stairs at Tower Bridge, or clips of cafes, views, and iconic places I filmed. She even changed her social media profile picture multiple times to photos I took of places like Big Ben, Notting Hill, etc. At first I laughed a lot, but then it started feeling weird. Like she was stealing a piece of my experience, stripping it of the emotional value it had for me, and turning it into some superficial flex trip. Something I lived with all my heart, and now she's wrapping it up in flashy music and money quotes, as if she were some rich sugar mommy jetting around the world, even posting pictures of my plane tickets, the leftover pounds I brought back from the trip, or old videos of herself in airports, with her passport, luggage, or planes from past trips. What makes it worse is that now she's even telling other relatives or people at her job that she went in December and is just now posting the photos and videos. She's even trying to invent a whole fake storyline for her trip. It already seemed suspicious to me last November when my mother-in-law traveled to London and sent me a beautiful photo of Big Ben, which I shared in the family group. My aunt took that photo and used it as her profile picture till now. But now that I actually went, it's like I gave her all the content she needed to fully feed her fantasy. I honestly don't know whether to laugh, cry, confront her, send her to a psychiatrist, or just ignore her and rant on Reddit. It makes me feel so uncomfortable, like she's invalidating something that was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me. Has anyone else gone through something like this with a family member? Am I overreacting? Or did she really cross a line? What is the rest of your family saying about this? Have you talked to your mom or dad, or whichever is her sibling about it? You said you're close with your family. Is talking to her about her behavior and mental health something they can help you with? This is exactly my question. Do they all let her get away with this type of stuff constantly to keep the peace? She sounds very mentally unwell and seriously needs help. Yeah, since she's known for making dramas and throwing tantrums, usually they let her get her way, and no one says nothing to her just to avoid it all. Usually while growing up, I would be the one standing up to her, but it only got me into trouble with the rest of my family, and was exhausting since there's no change, and it's a lot of BS. So I learned to just look away and stuck to my own thing. My narc mom has done this to me a lot. Anytime as a young girl or teenager a boy I was seeing would give me flowers, she would take pictures and upload them on Facebook with weird captions like, "What good girlfriends get," and would thank anyone congratulating her or telling her how pretty the flowers were, trying to make it look like it was her receiving flowers. She did it with gifts I received as well. When I got older and moved out, she got really bad at wanting to look like she was a busy, big shot on social media and would make statuses pretending she was at the beach, taking trips on dates, etc., while she was really sitting in her recliner alone at home. It's sad. She has a lot of mental issues and she lives a very lonely life, so I guess it was her way of coping. Next story. My mom attended my abuser's wedding. She even helped plan it. I want to get something off my chest that I've never really said out loud. I don't consider my mother anymore. After I divorced my ex-husband, I told her everything. How he cheated on me, how he emotionally abused me throughout the marriage, how I left that relationship completely broken. He manipulated me, made me feel like I was worthless, and convinced me that I didn't deserve anything better. I struggled mentally for a long time, and I was vulnerable when I finally opened up to her. But instead of supporting me, she was cold and distant. She never asked how I was coping. She never said she was sorry that I went through that. Her response was detached, like what I told her didn't matter at all. Before I got married, I used to send her money regularly. She hasn't worked in years, and her current husband is jobless too. Most of her financial support comes from her children, and that's what I eventually felt like to her. Not a daughter, not someone she loved, just another source of income. When I stopped financially supporting her, the emotional distance only grew. And then I found out something that still haunts me. Not only did she stay in touch with my ex-husband after the divorce, but she helped him find his new wife. She encouraged it. She played matchmaker. And when he got married, she attended the wedding like she was proud of him. She showed up to celebrate the man who made her daughter feel worthless, the same man who destroyed me mentally. She knew everything he did to me, and she still chose him. Since then, I've emotionally detached from her completely. I don't call her, I don't reach out, and I no longer refer to her as my mom. Because in my eyes, a mother doesn't betray her daughter like that. A mother doesn't enable the man who abused her child. A mother doesn't smile at the wedding of the person who caused that much pain. Today I'm sick with the flu. My sister called to check in on me, and in the background I heard her, my mother's voice telling my sister to remind me to drink coconut water. And it made my skin crawl. Blah. It felt so fake, so performative, so disgustingly hollow. She thinks she can still act like she cares, but after everything, that kind of love disgusts me. It's too late, and it's meaningless. She made her choice, and I'll never forget it. Now for the comments. I've read some stuff on Reddit, but that one is just unbelievable, even though I know that it's true. I take my hat off to you for removing yourself from her pernicious energy. What a betrayal. What a bee. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much. It really helps to feel understood. Walking away wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I'm doing my best to heal now. So, your sister has maintained a relationship with your egg donor after everything? I'm sorry she doesn't have your back. Yeah, I'm not close with my sisters. They only started reaching out again after our brother passed. Maybe that was their wake-up call to treat me better. They've always known about my strained relationship with our mom, but for some reason, they still act like everything's normal. I honestly don't understand the tone deafness either. Your second and third paragraphs totally describe my ex-husband and my mother, but then I caught them dating, so at least your mom didn't do that. Wait, what? Damn, and here I thought my situation was bad. You unlocked a whole new level of betrayal. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. If there were awards for toxic family dynamics, our moms would be neck and neck. Sending you strength. Last story. I took the DNA test, and I regret it. My world has crumbled into pieces, and it's my own fault. My father died around 10 years ago of cancer. I never looked like him. In fact, if you had asked me whether we had anything in common, it would only be that we were one another's favorite human beings, and that our combined stubbornness could move mountains. But it bothered me. The fact that I would look into the mirror and go searching for his face in my features and found nothing. Anyway, recently I was talked into getting a DNA test. I decidedly do not look white, unlike both of my parents, but just enough like my mother, that there was always the benefit of the doubt on whether anything was different about me. So I thought maybe getting it checked out would reveal something up higher in my ancestry. I'm very much my mom's twin in all the ways I wasn't my dad's. In temper and looks, we are very much alike. I was just more tanned. At least that's what I thought. But the DNA test I took revealed very clearly that I am indeed mixed. So, I called my stepdad, whom I love, and who I'm glad my mom found after my dad passed. I was heated and angry, thinking I must be the product of an affair, but didn't want to confront my mother directly before I knew more information. That's when he told me that he once asked my mother about why I looked the way I did, and she told him she never checked, but that she thinks she once was drugged at a party in the place that I now know I am 50% from. My mother was assaulted and kept the baby because it fell into the time in which she was trying with my father to conceive. From what my stepdad told me, she holds on to the idea that I am my dad's. The fact that she never tried to find out clearly speaks to the trauma. I am sickened. I've not only lost my only connection to my dad, who people always said I wasn't like, now I know a horrible thing about my mother, and I burdened my stepfather with a secret that no one wants to keep from their partner. While I'm not suicidal, I wish I wasn't born. I wish my mom could have had a child she wanted. I wish my dad didn't have to raise a lie like me. All because I couldn't handle the comments I grew up with. All because I needed to know. I'm so ashamed. I should have known better. Your dad was glad you were there. He almost certainly knew or suspected and didn't let it change how he felt about you. and that was more than enough for him. The trauma your mom has dealt with is not your fault, and it doesn't sound like she took it out on you either. Your feelings are obviously valid, but try to remember that your dad loved you. Thank you. My mom and I do have a very complicated relationship, and there was a time after my dad passed where we floated giving me up to live in assisted living. But we persevered. I think some of her anger at me might genuinely stem from this, though I was also a horrible teenager after my dad passed. I didn't really know what to do with all the emotions I felt, but I certainly don't want to burden her more. I love her so much. I would never wish to hurt her. It just sucks that that means I can never have a conversation about this with her. But thank you for your words. I should remember this. Your dad was your dad. Nothing can break that connection. Try to separate the DNA from reality. He loved you, nurtured you, and taught you how to use a fork for crying out loud. If your mom won't face her own trauma with therapy, then you should definitely. Sounds like your stepdad is pretty awesome too. Sounds like you're in good hands. Now get your head straight. The tough love is appreciated. You are not wrong at all. It's just difficult to keep that focus right now, but that's why I'm very happy I posted here and me receiving it externally. Head in the game. Get my medical and mental aid. Focus on those around me that can help. Of course, it's definitely not one of those life things I wish anyone has to find out or go through. My uncle was a drunk mess, which is how I found out. And my aunt next to him turned so red. The whole family jumped down his throat because at the end of the day, it happened. There was nothing anyone could do about that, and him opening up something that they never wanted to be made my issue made them floored. We are innocent circumstances that still require love, my grandma would say before she'd passed. That's a beautiful saying by your grandmother. I will keep it in mind and in my heart.